welcome to Two Hearts Crochet. Today I'm going to do a little video for you on just kind of an overview of how to read the graphs that I make for our projects. It's pretty simple once you get the basic concept of it, but I thought it'd be a good idea just to do a little walkthrough. This is the graph we're going to be using today. This is, if you don't recognize it, it's the graph for the firefly cow that's got River's axes on it. It's kind of hard to see in my tiny frame here. But you can see we've already done some of these rows here. I have the work here off to the side. There we go. You can see those are the first 10 rows that we've got done so far. We're going to go ahead and pick off with row number 11. And as you can see from our graph here, the odd number rows go to the left and down. Even numbers go up and to the right. So you're kind of working in this back and forth kind of motion as you go. And that's going to create this corner to corner style. So here on row 11, see that there? There we go. You can see row number 11, if you look on either side of the graph, each side is numbered and each side has arrows. And so you can look either down here to see, oh, I'm going down on row 11, which means you start at the top. Or you can look up here and say, oh, I'm going to the left, which means I'm going down. So you can go ahead and get the same kind of idea from either side of the graph, whichever side you want to look at. I usually look at whichever direction I'm going next. So for row 11, since I stopped up here last, I would know that I'm starting up here. And the arrows are just a helpful reminder of that in case I put my work down and come back to it later when I might not remember. We'll go ahead and pick off here with row 11. You can see, use my crochet hook as a pointer here. We've got different colors here. We've got this blue color, black, and then blue, which means we've got 3 bobbins we're working from right now. I have kind of a makeshift bobbin station over here. I can't really zoom out any further, but you can see my 2 blues and then my little bit of black there in the background. And I just have them off to the side so we've got some room to work here. For this row, we've got the 3 different sections, 2 different colors, 3 sections. Since we're going to start up here, what you want to do is count. I find it helpful to count the number of squares that you have in this first color section. So in this case, in row 11, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks of blue. After those 5 blocks of blue, we have 1, 2 blocks of black, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks of blue. And if you were to add those up, you got the 4 and the 2 and the 5, that's going to add up to 11, which is why it's 11 rows, is because you have 11 blocks. So we'll go ahead and give that a shot here just to show you how that works. Got my yarn here. Go ahead and insert my hook. There we go. And this particular project, you may or may not know, is going to be done, or is being done, I should say. We just started. It's being done in the mini corner to corner stitch. So you're just going to chain 4 and then do 2 half double crochets. And then join to the next block with a slip stitch, chain 2, and keep on going down. So we're doing, again, 5 blocks according to the graph here. 5 blocks in this section right here of blue. So we've got 2 blocks there. Keep going. Let's see here. I apologize for the closeness of this. I've been working out some new ways to do videos on my tiny workstation, and it's not gone so well. We've got 1, 2, 3, and 4 blocks right there. Go ahead and start row 5, or block 5, sorry. There's 1 half double crochet. There's the next one. And before we complete this one, since we've got a color change coming up right here, I'm just going to take my yarn, get some more off the bobbin here, and take my yarn and move it to the front of my work, just like that. I'm going to tug it out of the way. and that's going to help make a nice tight color change. And now we're ready to pick up with the black. So we've got the black on the back here. Just go ahead and finish that stitch off. And join with the slip stitch. Chain 2, and then we've got, again, new color. We're doing 2 blocks of black in this row. So we'll just go ahead and do, oops, there's 1, and here's the second one. And again, because we have a color change coming up, we're not going to finish this whole block. I'm going to stop right there. And go ahead and take our black yarn and move that to the front of our work. And we're going to pick up the blue again. And here in this last color section, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks of blue. So go ahead and do those 4 blocks real fast. And once we've finished these 4 blocks of blue, we will have finished row 11. And it obviously gets more complicated the more color changes you have, but what I find easiest with these graphs is as long as you follow the arrows, and as long as you mark off your rows every row, you're good to go. I've noticed sometimes I try to, I know what I'm doing, I don't need to block off this row, I've already done it, I know that, I'm fine, and then I'll get distracted and then my rows will be off and I won't know why, and it's because I didn't mark off a row and I'll have duplicated it, and then you have to frog it, and that's just no fun. Nobody likes that. So definitely make sure you mark off each row as you go. And if you're ever in doubt, just count the number of stitches or the number of blocks you have in your finished work. You can see here we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And that's going to tell you, okay, I'm in 11 blocks here, I've got 11 rows done. Obviously that's going to work a little bit differently when you start decreasing because the rows on the graph keep going up instead of going back down. And the reason I do that is because I want to make sure that the arrows are going in the correct direction for you when you start in this bottom right hand corner. I designed my graphs specifically so that you can start in this bottom right hand corner, work in the same direction, and you won't have to worry about anything. All of my graphs are done the same exact way. So as long as you start in that corner, you're good to go. So you can see we just finished row 11 here. So what I'm going to go ahead and do real fast, got my handy dandy pen here. I'm just going to mark off row 11 with some little X's. And you don't have to use a marker or anything. I just personally find that with the ink from my printer, sometimes the pen doesn't really work, especially on some of the darker colors. So I like to use the Sharpie because it just gets through everything and makes it nice and easy to see. And there you have it. There is row 11. And so if we're going to start row 12, you just look down here. Row 12 goes up, so you just work back up. To do that, you would take your work here that you've just done. You have to turn the whole piece. So you would turn that whole piece there, and then you would be working back up across the side there, up this way. So you're going up the graph this way. It looks like after you turn your work that you're going back down, but it's really just flip-flopped, so you are in fact working up the graph and to the right, as it turns out. So if you see up here, it's got the little right arrow, like all the other even rows. And you'd also want to make sure, again, that you count your color blocks in each section of color. So here we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks of blue in the first color section, 2 blocks again of black, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blocks of blue. And you basically just keep doing that, go back and forth across the rows. And then when you get to row 25 up here, here we go, row 25 is worked down and to the left. So you just go all the way down to row 25, and then you decrease when you start row 26 over here. And if you need more information on how to do that, I do have a video on increasing and decreasing with this stitch. So you just want to make sure you pop on over to the blog and take a look at that. Otherwise, you can see with this graph, it's going to get a little bit more complicated in here with all these different color changes, especially right up in here, where you'll have blue, gray, blue, gray, blue, gray, blue, gray, and blue. So it does get a little complicated sometimes, but I found the number one major help is to reference the arrows and mark off your blocks. And that's pretty much it. Like I said, all my graphs are done the same way, so whether you're working on the Firefly Cal, whether you're going to be joining us for our upcoming Game of Thrones Cal, or if you're, back working on Doctor Who or Harry Potter, or one of the other Cals that we've done in the past, they're all going to be exactly the same. The arrows might be pointing in different directions, but as long as you follow them, you'll be led the right direction. So anyways, hope that helps everybody out. If you have any questions, please leave me a comment or send me a message. I'd be happy to help you out in any way I can. Happy crafting!